goods out. Can I shoot? Oh, I don't have my script on. Look at this. Excuse me. Unknown command. Let's attack. I don't want to put this in my config because I don't always want it. But when I do want it, it's a really easy thing to write. I used to be really big into scripting. I actually wrote one of the most popular original bunny hop scripts under the name Cherry. I think it was CS Cherry. Like that. I think my very first thing was Eyes. Used to be that. And I joined a clan. Joined a clan with Edja, the movie maker. Probably 8 years ago. Maybe 7 years ago. Called Dice. Our tag was this. And my name was that. So cool, bro. Let's go through this spam spot real quick, because I know a lot of people would like to know. What the fuck is the command to increase the buy time? Buy time. So this has been pretty highly asked about, and it's been this spam, because if you watch my clips, obviously, and if you've seen me live stream, I hit this quite a bit. This is a really great thing to do. Oh my god, interrupted. New boob group. Not boobs, not boobs, not boobs. Those are boobs and asses. There we go. Thank you, whoever that was. Ooh, nice boobies. Very nice. If you're new to the stream, my joke is that if you're gonna add me to a group or to your friends list, I always ignore. But if you have a picture of some nice boobies or a nice butt, keep it up, and I don't ignore it. So you can see your name on my stream if you have a cool picture. Anyway, hit the spam a lot. It's not really a science, and when I do this spam, it's pretty specific. There are 2 times I like to do this spam. One of the times is very general, and it's just when I have an op. We're not really doing any quick picking strategies, and I don't really have a place. If my place isn't top middle, or specifically go into B tunnels and get a pick with your op, and it's not, you know, go long, pick one and fall back or something, sometimes I'll just spend the first 15-20 seconds or so doing the spam. And again, I don't line it up in any way specifically. The only real specific is I go all the way into this corner, and I single zoom, and this is basically where I do it. Not for any reason. Let me just make sure that works. Okay, cool. Just want to make sure I had a no clip line. It's pretty much here. I guess if you're on 640, a great way to align op spams, which you've seen me do in the past, is to use the dots on the black horizontal and vertical parts of the crosshair. So I guess on 640, about halfway through that first dot, from the left of the red dot, if you're looking at the red dot, you go to the left along that black line horizontally. That first black dot, I kind of put about half, maybe just on the left edge of it. And at player height. There are a couple ways you can look at the player height if you really want to get specific. First of all, I'd recommend you get CAKEbot and practice this in your own server. Maybe NoClip also in teleport menu. I have that whole video up. If you haven't seen that and you want my whole server setup, just search in YouTube AMXX plugin CAKEbuilder. I'm sure you'll find it. It's on my channel. But player height is basically, I can just generalize it really easily. You can also look at the vertical dots. So starting from the red dot in the middle of my screen, you can go, I don't know, 2.5 dots down will be basically on that line where the wall and the floor meet at dust. You could also look at the A. You can see where the vertical part of your crosshair touches the A. Maybe you want it right on the bottom of that dash. I don't know. But pretty much this is where I'll spam it, and it goes right to where people mainly opt from. But I don't do this to kill oppers. What you see me do this for, as I explained earlier, I have two scenarios where I use this spam. First being when I don't have a place. It's just a general thing for me to do with my op, kill some time, maybe get an opening pick, maybe get a trade. What I more specifically use this spam with is when I think they're going to stack long A with nades. Teams stack long A with nades all the time. They don't really do it for any reason other than long A doors is pretty confined. And they want to get some early kills or at least some damage. So if I believe that a team's going to be nade stacking, there's a whole bunch of different reasons why a team would want to nade stack. If you've been hitting long a lot, consistently, 2 or more people, you can break that habit and then maybe just send a guy here to spam it. It's a really, really easy thing to do. I almost always get a kill if they're stacking long A with nades. And the reason it's effective is because it's covering a lot of area. Most spam spots are designed to hit a corner, a common standing spot, and this is hitting a common standing spot, shadow. It's called shadow because of the shadow there. But it's also hitting a series of other areas. This whole line is a pretty significant place of long A to be shooting for when you believe CTs are being aggressive. Because they could be standing here, they could be pushing up from, you know, playing stairs or something. That's kind of advanced, but if you're playing a better team, it's even better. Or even when I play long A, I like to play this corner. Once this wall is flat, that's when I know to stop. But if I was here and I heard some footsteps end of cat, or if I heard an opper spamming, I might be inclined to push up, and I fall right into that line where I'm spamming. So that's when I like to do that one. If you play top middle, I like to assume that everyone has the same default as us because we have the most default on the planet. And our default is basically 1 mid, 2 top, or 1 long A, 2 top mid. I go lower and pick middle, and we put a guy in B tunnel to watch the upper push. Space around me picking middle. I'll show you exactly what I do for middle picking in a little bit because it's pretty crucial. And since the whole strat's designed around me making that pick, or initially around me making that pick, it's kind of important. So I'll show you how I do it. Show you a couple things if you are one of those players that plays top of middle. And again, your purpose is not to get picked or to get picks, it's just to hold while I go lower and do my stuff. A lot of teams like to throw a flash right here for their player to be lower, for their lower B player to be able to pick mid more easily. I'm not for that. I personally like to throw my own flashes so I know exactly that I won't be messing up, or if I do mess up, this flash that comes from end of cat is going to pop immediately once it's out the doors. It doesn't get 5 feet before it pops. It pops like here the latest. And if there's a problem, if someone throws a flash, or if they were blind from something else and they still tried to throw the flash, I won't know that that flash was a mistake until I'm blind. So I really like to throw my own flashes. It's my own decision. If you want a good pistol strat, a lot of people will do 4 lower B and then 1 come end of cat here with a flash and a USP just to be able to buy something else, not just a flash. And then they'll pop flash middle because you won't get counter flashed a lot. And there's not that many factors that would prevent you from throwing this flash correctly on a pistol round. So that's probably the best time to pop flash middle for a lower teammate, so when you're doing that pistol. Otherwise, I'd advise against. I'm personally not a fan. Other things you can do from middle. You can throw this smoke if you want off of this wall. It banks down pretty close to mid double door. It's pretty good. Only reason you'd want to throw that is if you don't want to be seen from middle, because a lot of operas will be able to see you from end of cat, even if you're just standing here. And a more advanced team will do an NOA stack, which is basically just a head stack in middle. Try to counter that. So you can smoke middle pretty early. If you have 2 guys end of cat, you don't have to peek. You throw one right off the wall, it'll land right in the door, like I said. The other guy can just crouch and throw his smoke right there. And you've smoked middle without peeking it. A way to flash middle without peeking it learned this from Neo a couple of years ago, is you can, from about here, I would definitely get a running start, or else it won't be as effective and as consistent. You can throw a flash right up and down, fake window. It goes right out into middle. Pretty easily. You don't have to peek anything. Just throw it. It's right over the wall. If you want to flash close cat, your two guys top mid should not always be back of cat. Specifically, you should probably have one green box. We usually do. We don't typically boost green box that often. If we do, it's because we want to boost onto this ledge, which is useful for picking catwalk. If you can boost onto this ledge correctly, you can walk right up the cat. See what's going on there. It's very surprising. But anyway, if you have a player green box, if he can get there early, like if he can drop fast cat, smoke fast cat, and get green box unknowingly to the CTs, just hide here. What your other player top middle can do is flash cat, flash your aggressive cat, just by throwing it in this corner. Not moving. One of the biggest problems with grenades being thrown that I see by less experienced players is they like to run and jump and do all different things while moving, while throwing their grenades. And it's highly inefficient because you don't always need speed behind your grenades.
20 minutes remaining.
There's a big difference between throwing a grenade, running and throwing it, and just standing there and throwing it. You get a totally different effect. And it's really important to distinguish the difference. I'll let you do that on your own. Let's go through what I do on default for my T side, my team. We have sector. Brian holds upper B. Again, we have two top middle doing some of the flashes and smokes I explained. And we have one long A, not peeking it ever. His goal is not to get a pick. His goal is to make sure that they're not pushing out of our long DD to get into our spawn, to get into our middle, to fuck our shit up. Sometimes, most times we don't have a player in middle spotting lower for me. It becomes a problem very quickly because I get gate and lower a lot. But if we do have someone, one of the two top mid players, checking to see if someone goes lower, what I do is I throw this flash that I learned from watching Pauly. Basically what you do is you throw it right at this ledge, or on the ground right before the ledge so that it hits the ledge, and it pops like, if you throw it correctly, if I throw it correctly, it pops like almost perfectly at the bottom of the stairs, right where a C2 would be waiting for you. And you can really run with that flash, which is one of the advantages. So me and Brian are just getting in the tunnel. Sam calls out there might be one in lower. Throw that flash. I can come down at full speed. This guy's either going to be turning away from the flash or he's going to be eating it because he hears me coming right at him. So that's pretty helpful. It doesn't happen too often where I need to do that. Primarily because we don't really have anyone watching that for me. And I either get gade or I just get the frag. When I come down lower, I usually check that box, this corner of the box, both sides of this as fast as possible. And one of the biggest things I cannot stress enough if you're this lower player in this role is check the back of Xbox. Holy shit. You see, you don't really have to peek that much. It's not convincing to a lot of people to see this angle being held by me right now because you can't fully see the whole corner and you feel like there can be more room for the CT to be hiding, but really once you're past this point where you're just peeking this little sliver of middle, there cannot be a CT unseen in this corner. So just really important to just very, very slimly peek this because it's too easy for a CT to throw a smoke, super Markolov style, and run right here into Xbox and just spot lower. It's so easy for him to get away with that. So that's one of your biggest priorities as a lower player who's trying to get the middle picks. Is to just check that. And then last couple things is obviously check aggressive cat, which you'll be able to hear, and you can get a lot of spam kills while your two teammates top mid are handling that. Check this corner, and then check the back of the Xbox and lower. Can we start the round so I can get some flashes?
20 minutes remaining.
So normal round. Brian and I are coming down here. Sam might call it this one in lower, possibly. Throw that flash real quick, run down with it, clear it out, everything's fine. You might want to smoke the top of Xbox. I like to hold my smoke. I'll show you one in a second. Now, I'm going to use one of my HEs as a flash, just because this is hypothetical. And I'll show you exactly how I pick middle. I haven't exactly run through what these flashes do to the CTs. I know a common flash is to throw up here. Or not so common to you maybe, but I've seen these flashes thrown a lot as a middle player myself, because on CT side I play middle. And if a team is flashing out middle from end of cat and I need to fall back towards outside of B, a lot of times really good teams will throw flashes up in here, because what they can do is, if they've smoked off CT spawn correctly, they can throw flashes up there and then just be under where the flash will pop and peek me like so easily. So that's one thing to keep in mind. But what I do with my flash and nade, which are really two flashes, is I run down lower as fast as possible, peek a sliver of door, flash one down, flash one up top, and doors accordingly. I'll show it again really quickly.
20 minutes.
Just how I choose to pick middle. Again, I haven't really looked at it from a defensive perspective. That's because I don't have to. It's because I know these flashes work really well. Peek a sliver. One on the ground, one up top. Move for each pop, flash and pop. And then you only have a couple of things that you really need to check. Most immediate thing you need to check, which you should be looking at the same time, is for the boost dark spot. I never really put my crosshair here. It's because it's a lot less common than a CT just standing down here. A CT will only be boosted in these boxes if they have, if him and the B player really have great spawns. Maybe the B player's here and the mid player's right here. They'll be able to do a boost really quickly. Or if the long player is maybe giving a fast cat to his two teammates before he goes to long, he'll give the mid player a boost. But the point being is it's less common to be up there than it is to be down there for a bunch of different reasons. So while this is a major concern, I'm checking that with my eyes, but not with my crosshair, and I'm checking the immediate dark spot on the ground first. That's one thing I'm doing. At the same time, you want to be checking the right of door. I wouldn't really be too concerned about doing this boost, because none of us are from Sweden. Maybe some of you are, but I'm not, and no one really does that in North America. And the last thing you need to check, and probably the most common thing, but it's the last immediate concern, is turtle boxes. A couple of things you can do from here. You can smoke CT spawn from before you peek if you want to. It's always beneficial. If you're having a battle with one of the players at turtle boxes, and you fall back and you hear him run up to double doors, nade off of the first turtle box. Just fucking throw a nade off the first turtle box. It will destroy him. If you're having a successful battle, you might want to even commit just more out into middle and possibly be exposed from one of the A players or one of the mid rotators to throw that nade to get the kill. It might be worth the trade. Excuse me.
20 minutes remaining.
So that was kind of more strat talk. I'm going to head over to Facebook now and see what questions, comments you guys have. And if none of them are really worth it, I'll just continue and I'll do less strategy. I'll do more tipsy kind of stuff. Did your girlfriend ever watch a live stream? I answered that. What do you prefer, high or low sense in game? Do you still use that DPI with 411? I'm still on the 4th bar in Windows sensitivity, yes. I don't know what my DPI is. With the EC2, it's got 3 different DPI settings, whichever one is purple. And theoretically, what you want is a lower sensitivity in game, just because, theoretically, you should always know where your opponents are, and you should focus solely on fine, detailed aiming, rather than quick 180s and such. But Counter-Strike is Counter-Strike. Try to find a healthy medium that works for you. The best tip I can give you on sensitivity I read on the complexity forums when I was a little boy. It was from Warden, and he said, use whatever settings you get the most kills with. It's the best advice I ever heard. Why does mine look a little pixely and yours looks really smooth? I don't know. Combination of things, probably hardware. And maybe the hertz? No, I believe you asked about hertz earlier. I don't know. GUI, I'm using the CAKEbuilder GUI. Note the cakes in the pink. Go on YouTube, CAKEbuilder GUI, you'll find it in 2 seconds. Okay. If you have any specific map questions, flashes you'd like to get down, some spam spots, or if you're really bad at playing some spot defensively or taking a spot aggressively, post it on Facebook. I'll answer it as soon as possible. Switch maps and find some other fun stuff.
Minutes
I hope you guys don't mind
remaining.
my cycling playlist here. It's only about 6 songs, but they're very relaxing and I enjoy them. Excuse me, jeez.
20 minutes.
Let's find some Inferno stuff to do. One thing we do sometimes is we delay taking middle, and we'll have 3 guys going alternate or into halls, and Sam and I will be playing back here. And a big concern is, are there any B pushers? Very likely. You can throw a really easy little flash from the back of here. I can't really see because I'm playing in window mode. Should be something like that. Hit the bottom of ramp, pop right in the middle. If anyone's being aggressive and stupid because they don't see any T's, should blind them somewhat. Also, just if you do a quick peek and you see someone being dumb and stupid out in the open, come in this way. It's just a wall. Just because you can't see someone doesn't mean that they can't be killed. It sounds very stuck up and analytical, but it's true. Just because there's one wall in your way doesn't mean that you can't at least hit your opponent. Something to do once I start taking banana is there's a gap between the walls, or between the wall and these boxes. So if you want to see if maybe you threw a flash towards headshot box or something, if you want to see if there is someone headshot box, peek between the boxes and the walls. Takes 2 seconds. You're here anyway. This corner's pretty deep. Check it out. A way to prevent getting fucking killed with a smoke out right here while you're throwing the marches. I really hated that when I was a little kid. I didn't understand what was going on. Throw it from back here. Why do you have to be up there to throw it? Throw it off the wall. Take 2 seconds. Pat's got a question. There's a flash on nuke. Hut window and you throw it in the corner of the light. Oh, Pat, Sam was actually complaining about he wasn't able to hit that in scrims earlier. It's really simple. I'll show that too. We'll go to nuke next. A great way, we've all run into that opera that plays bomb box. From his point of view, it looks like this. Everyone plays this angle. Great way to peek him is, and I love doing this, flash over, make him blind, don't rush in. If you want to be loud about it, be loud about running to this box, but don't sit behind the box. Instead, run to the box, start walking, and sit in the corner right in front of it and duck. You have all of this room where even if you don't hit his head, maybe you can aim a little bit lower and really fuck him up, because he's going to be looking either towards this box or just generally towards his right. Like either here or here. And the greatest thing you can do to an opera is flash him, make him re-peek, and then when he re-peeks, be wider than he's anticipating. He's anticipating somewhere from here to here. This whole open gap. The whole open gap being because they can either come from here, from immediate banana T side, or from behind the box. If you're to his left, you're going to have the advantage. And again, cannot stress it enough, any little second you can give yourself in Counter-Strike to have the upper hand goes a long way. All these little tricks and tips add up if you can apply them accordingly. Doesn't mean call a strat for your team and go, okay, everyone throw a flash over the wall, and then I'm going to sit in front of this box, I'm going to get the pick. It's just something for you to do when you're picking B. You know there's an offer, throw a flash, be loud about it, sit here, you'll have that advantage. Again, because from his point of view, he's going to be blind, Maybe he'll throw a counter flash or whatever. Just turn. He'll re-peek like this. You'll be just to his right. You won't know what's going on. I'll show you guys some flashes that I like to do
20,
defensively on the bomb site for B. They're not as fancy as you'd think. Highly effective. A couple of different reasons. Mainly because you're pretty hidden when you throw them. What I like to do a lot, if you've been watching my stream lately, I'm very into playing this box. Just like this, because you can see their heads before they come in. And if they're ducking in, they're going to be moving so slowly right here. It's a free kill. What you can do is, instead of standing here the whole round and getting flashed initially, just hide in these boxes, covers totally a whole shitload of B that often gets flashed. If a team's smart, so one thing to do is a T, hint, 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 wink, 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 throw them towards the back. If someone's using this strategy, this counters this perfectly. As far back as you can get these flashes as possible will eliminate people playing back right boxes or dry boxes from being able to see you. What I like to do is play this area. And the best flashes I do is if I'm here and I hear, you know, footsteps, sometimes I'll come here and hide because people will start to flash. Once they're done with their flashes, run right up to this wall, throw them right off the lip. Pops right in the middle. Only really important thing to note about that flash is to communicate it to your teammate, because your teammate is probably playing bomb boxes, flat wall, or in arches. And the most important thing you can do while countering is to keep in mind that you don't want to be also flashing your teammate, because you need that guy to fucking win rounds. So you can be playing here, here's some people, block their flashes with these boxes, just come in here, sandwich yourself, throw 2 flashes off of the lip. And then also don't peek with the flash. I find it much more successful to stop the rush and then make the T's try to re-rush you when they don't have flashes. They've already burnt their flashes upon entry. You counter flashed them, you stopped them, they're stuck there, maybe nade them, make them try to re-rush it. Or go back to A. You won't even need to rotate if you stop the rush. If they've taken B and you play A, I like to throw the smoke off of that. I don't know what that is. Smokes the arches. Gives you some cover to jump up on this side. I would highly recommend doing that, just in general, instead of running up here like an idiot, falling into a whole bunch of angles that are commonly picked. Jump up on the side. If you throw that smoke, jump up on this box. Look above it. You can see so much more, like, before exposing yourself to really serious areas and corners. See if there's anything on CT.
20 minutes.
Talk a lot about mini pit. Still definitely a huge fan. After I plant the bomb, oftentimes I like to jump into big pit, do this little corner. Doesn't really take that much skill, but provides you with a lot of cover really quickly. No one's going to hit you while you're back here on the ground. So, just a quick way to get out of there. Even if you plant and you want to throw like a flash that might hit you, you can still get in there pretty quickly. You can nade flash respectively. Excuse me. If you're playing on a higher resolution, these fences are crucial. Unfortunately, I'm on 640, you can't see through them very clearly. But if you're playing on a high resolution, you can see through these clear as day from right where I am. You can see all the way back to jungle, back moto. So if you play on a higher resolution, 8x6 at the lowest, I would say, use these fences. And if you play on a resolution like 8x6 or lower, like if you play on 640 like me, I still use the fence, but not as aggressively. A lot of players will look at it, know that they're playing someone on 640, be able to get quick picks. It's kind of advanced, but fuck, this is all out super cake tip stream night. What I do on 640 is I'm still able to see. I use the fence for 2 different reasons. One, if we play in the middle of the site, a lot of people after playing middle of the site will go library, can also come fence and just spot the fence. You can spot it from down here too. And also just to see if they're coming in the site in general. So I won't look through the fence and then peek with the information I gain from peeking through the fence. I'll just hold an angle on the site, and I'll use the fence as more information along with my sound, because if this was a solid wall, just, you know, put your hand up against the fence real quick and imagine that's a solid wall. You can use your sound obviously to figure out if a CT is running up, but also along with the sound you can then get the visual and see what's his concern. Is he looking at me? If he's looking at me, maybe I'll back off. Is he looking in sight? Do I have a teammate in sight? If he's looking in sight and I have a teammate in sight, I'll just hold it, and then once he gets into my crosshair, I'll be able to shoot him no problem. Gives you a little bit more confidence.
We're in the CAKEbuilder stream.
Ha! Gives you a little bit more confidence on that you're about to make. Going over like every tip I can possibly think of. If you flash push alternate. First of all, you can throw smoke over here if you didn't know that. Instead of waiting to get to middle. If you don't suck dicks. I suck dicks, obviously. What was I gonna show you? Oh, flash push. Middle to alternate, you smoke middle. You know, off the roof and then the lip or something like that. Don't peek on the ground. A lot of people want to peek through this box. It's stupid. A lot of people want to run out to here and get lucky. This is not a movie. This is not bomb sight. That will not work. What you want to do? Jump out of this box. I swear to God. That's all I'm gonna say. Try it yourself. Bet you $1 million it works. Go over to Facebook. See any questions. Hi, Cake on the stream. Can you go over DE Mirage? One of the best places to hold cover T-ramp in a house. Okay, I'll go over that in a second, Jordan. Thanks for your question. Did I miss anything else? Oh shit, everyone's fucking posting. If you have a question, I said this earlier, maybe some of you didn't hear it. Don't post your questions on a status. Don't post it on the status that I recently posted about the video. Post it as a new thing. So I can, it's much easier for me to do. Nah, I don't look at the chat. Just post it as a new status. What do we got here? Tuscan Mirage B tips. Alright, well, we'll go to that in a little bit. How do you jump on nuke from the giant red rock to the thing? Good question. Record it. I can't record it. If someone else is recording this, fantastic. I'm still watching. Played some pubs and rate because of your tips. Got an ace at bat spam. You the man. Awesome, Seth. You, sir, are a gentleman and also a scholar. Thank you, Danny Miller. Oh, it's Danny Miller. Miller Place. I know you, man. Thanks. I mean, obviously, I know you. Do you have your config post anywhere? Search on YouTube, CAKEbuilder config. You'll find it in 2 seconds. Double door, middle dust 2. What's the time that they cross? I always forget. I don't time it. I really don't. It's too random. Spawns are so different. Don't try to time anything by the clock on picking middle dust 2. It's a waste of time. Okay, what were the nuke questions? Nuke. The big nuke. Okay, I call that Fag Mountain. From the branch. I'm gonna go ahead and go to the bathroom real quick, so I can come back and not rush the next series of tips. What does that say? Bathroom, be right back. Boom. It's meant to be. Back. switch my playlist out of this playlist, which has been cycling for years. And I'm gonna put it on the full Black Mill albums. Perfect. Okay. The Bach.
Minutes remaining.
We had a question, really good question. Let's see how many people are good. 74 people in the stream. Awesome. I feel like it's worth going over. How to get on a Fag Mountain. I call this Fag Mountain. Other people call it Big Rock. I call it Fag Mountain. This is how I roll. Something like that. There are a couple of things to note about this jump. It looks really simple. If you've tried it yourself, you've probably run into some problems. I'll try to clear those up right now. Basically, all the jump is from this right pillar to this rock, and this rock's on an angle which can be surfed, if you know anything
God,
about
dude,
Counter-Strike.
people love the shit out of you.
What?
I said people love the shit out of you. Sorry, I don't mean to bother.
Why? You're not bothered. Why do you say it all? Are you in, like, is there a chat with the stream? I don't go on that thing.
No, there's a little chat that you can like enter in.
Do people go on that?
Sometimes, like, oh hey.
I don't do that.
Okay, I gotta go. Bye.
See? This wall is surfable, which means you can slide on it, which also means you can crawl up it. If you can get onto it correctly. There's a small invisible skybox which you hit your face on if you don't duck at the right time. All you really need to know about this jump is it's about practice, lining yourself up correctly and doing it the same way every time, and getting around the skybox. The skybox is invisible, obviously, but it's right about here. What you need to do is strafe around it, and you really need to time when you hit duck correctly. Let me just do it once more to try to figure out how to explain it the best. Okay. I guess what I do is I get kind of towards the corner. Don't spend your life lining it up perfectly because that's just a waste of time. Just get in the corner. The second I hit jump, I hit crouch. I hold forward until I'm about, I don't know, midway to this flat part. Again, I'm just breaking it down as a science. I'm not thinking about all these factors when I do it. I've just practiced it enough times to where I can do it consistently, pretty consistently. Point in addressing that is just don't think about all these things at once. Please just practice this as many times as possible until you get it down. It's worth sitting in a server for 20 minutes once in your life, figuring out how to do a jump correctly, and then being able to do it all the time. It's my theory with Red Rock. Honestly, it probably took me an hour when I was 15 to figure out how to do it perfectly. Now I can do it all the time. Now it's an option when I push lobbies of CT, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, get in the corner of this right pillar. Hold forward till you're about halfway up to the flat part of that thing. Once you're at that flat part, the middle of the flat part, hit jump and crouch at the same time. I'm trying to figure out if I hold forward the entire time. I've never had to explain it before. Nope. Okay. Okay, so I guess you're hitting 3 buttons at the same time. You're hitting jump, crouch, you're letting go of forward, and you're holding the right strafe. So 4 actions are happening at one time. And it's that one moment that's going to determine if you make the jump or not. Realistically, that's the most crucial part. That's 80%. That's more than half the battle. Get in the corner at the right moment, which is about halfway across that flat point. Hit jump, hold crouch, let go forward, hold right strafe. So what you're doing essentially is you're becoming airborne, but you're becoming a smaller person vertically because you're crouching. You're letting go of forward, so you're not getting any more forward momentum, and you can do a tighter strafe. You cannot strafe as tightly in Counter-Strike with air acceleration on as low as 10, which is legal league play settings if you're holding forward, so you want to be letting go of that. You're holding right so that you can strafe into the corner. Once you get it past the skybox, you should be on this wall. Once you hit this wall, I like to hold forward and right. Reason being is it's then very simple to strafe or to surf up the wall with forward momentum, obviously. Get in the corner. I'm gonna run up to this flat point here where my crosshair is right now. I'm gonna hit jump, hold crouch, let go forward, right strafe, turn my mouse obviously to get towards that rock. Then once I hit the rock, I let go of crouch and I start holding forward and right. Again, once you hit the rock, hold forwards and right, because if you just hold right, this is what happens. Slide right off. It's happened a million times. When you're in a server pre-game, you're waiting for a scrim, and you're like, oh, it's so close, I made it to the, the wall. You made it around the skybox, but you didn't surf up the slant correctly. And all you have to do is hold forward also. Hold forward and right. But you're not holding forward while you're in the air because you need to strafe over to that wall. Once you hit that wall, you let go of crouch, because if you hold crouch on a wall when you're surfing, you fall down automatically. I don't know if everyone knows that or not. And you're holding forward and right. So, we're T-spawn. We're on the truck. We're on the lip of the truck. We missed the corner because we're awful. Then we are like, we can do it. And we get in the corner of the right pillar. And you still suck dicks. And you suck dicks twice. Sorry. It's not too bad. But again, it takes a lot of practice to be able to confidently say, alright, this is our big gun round. We saved 2 rounds in a row. I got my op. He plays the same way from CT Red all the time. All I have to do is go Fag Mountain. I'll be able to get him no problem. And then to be able to do it. I'm going to go to Facebook right now and see if there's any other nuke questions. Currently, and if not, I'll just go show you shit. Tips for Colt AK single bullet spray. I'm not going to try to tell you how to shoot because that's really practice. I'm not going to pretend like there's a way to do it. What I'd much rather show you is stuff that I've just acquired through watching other people play and from playing on my own, about maps and strategies and flashes and things like that. Oh, okay. Katie would like to know how to slide off of the thing once you're on Fag Mountain to lose no health. That looks like this. I lost some health. I moved forward long enough. That again, there's an invisible wall. If you've ever been on Fag Mountain, I'm holding forward. I can't go down here. You can hear him flash. So what you need to do is that wall ends right at this corner, and if you jump correctly, you can land onto this other slanty wall, which you can then surf down, technically, by holding backwards and come to a slow stop. Let's see if I can do it a little bit better as an example. It's really, this is not my best thing, but I've been pretty successful with it as of late, and I'm assuming that's why you're asking me now. So I'm still losing some health. Maybe I need to pre-strafe a little bit better or something. Lost 1 health. I'll go with that. All that is you need to know that this wall exists. That up, right where this break is between the flat and the slant, there's an invisible wall, and it's only as thick as this line right here. So knowing that, you can jump around it. And I like to try to go off of the thinnest part of this little triangular shape as possible. So about here. And then strafe as best I can, pre-strafe if you need to, air strafe most definitely, to land right around it, that invisible wall, and at the next slant break. So if you can get past this break and that break, you're fine. So this invisible wall is from here to here to here. Sound light in for a second so you can see. Maybe you're just listening and you're not looking. I would tell you to look right now. So that's where that invisible wall is, and that's what you're jumping around. So you're jumping from point A, nice blocks, to point B. As high up on here as possible, because when you land as high as possible, when you're holding backwards, when you're sliding down this wall, you'll lose less damage, depending on how high on that slant you land. So you made to Fag Mountain, doing all those instructions I just said. You want to get down with little to no health. I just had to save myself because I felt I missed. I missed again. Again. Again! You understand what I'm saying. Long night. But at least the premise is to get around that invisible wall, which is from there to there. So that's how it's done, at least. Although I can't really do it too well right now, I'm sorry. Those are the rules. To the jump. What other things can I think of to show you that's valuable? Anytime I'm in lobby and we had someone, I don't know, checking out Mini that's getting shot from opposite. If I get that call to someone opposite, I go right up the ladder. Red rock real quick. Spam spots right there, just to the right of that red line, or this vertical line, excuse me. Spams all of opposite perfectly. Takes 2 seconds for me to run up that ladder, get on a red rock. This guy's no another spam. I haven't been successful with it, mainly because I haven't been trying it, because it makes you very exposed. I'll explain what it is in a second. I learned this from watching someone on Fnatic. Maybe DSN, I don't want to, I don't remember 100%. But the idea was to get as far out on the red rock as possible. I'll read that in a second, Pat. And then spam like this way, because it hits like a bunch of main spots from about above hut, which is a common spot, all the way through these mill rafters, all the way to this part of the rafters. It's a cool idea. Might be worth it to someone to try, but to me it's not worth it because if I don't have a good player outside, I'm fucked. Very exposed. Ooh, wow. Good call. Forget it right now. I'll go over to Facebook and check. See what people are asking here. I hope it's easy to install because I'm about to try it. Now would be a great time to ask questions on Facebook. Again, do not post it, your question or comment on a status. Excuse me. Posted as a new thing. A new post to my wall, whatever the fuck. I don't know what you call it. I'll be checking in just a second. Oops. Nope. Sorry. I wonder if that will work over the game. We'll see. Check what's good on Facebook. He said, yeah, it's pretty hard, but it's okay. Well, one more question. What do you do for first gun round T-side? What do I buy? What do I rush? I'm having a pretty hard time figuring out where to go. Well, okay. You're asking a weird person that question, Katie Daves, but my answer will be honest. What I do in pugs, I'll tell you first pugs because it's very important to know. I buy USB flash. I go Red Rock. It's a pretty specific puggy thing. You're able to do Red Rock also. What I do also, huge thing for scrims and especially for matches, is learn how to drop on a mini without making this sound. Don't get that metally sound. If anything, just get the hit. What you can do is land on the edge bugs, or excuse me, the 4 extra units that are to every surface, which make you seem like you're floating. If you land on those, the sound properties of the material don't coordinate with your action towards that material. So if I land on these bugged edges, these 4 extra units, doesn't do the metal sound, just does a hit sound. Now that's completely different. While that's identifiable to a CT that might be playing floor, opposite, or whatever, it's a lot less identifiable than having that metal sound. It's a way easier call if you land on the metal to make as a CT for your guy large garage or outside to say, there is definitely one on mini garage. Make the hit sound. Takes 2 seconds to learn how to do that correctly. Just have that hit sound. It makes you much more discreet, much more hidden, much more anonymous, all that fun stuff. Once I'm here, again, this isn't a pug, whoever asked this. Check back CT red. Try to check red pole best you can. I also check this angle because I got in the habit of having people play there and looking vertically up at me, and it was not so cool. So I check that also. What I like to do is go maybe to here, run up along the edge bugs, make just another one little tiny sound that goes kind of under the radar if a lot of people are shooting. Try to time it with people rushing or something, and you've now pretty much jumped past anyone who's been playing outside from mini garage. If there's a guy top hut spotting mini garage, he'll never have seen you. If there's a guy red pole, he'll never have seen you. If there's a guy just in the back of large garage, he'll never have seen you. So now you have full access to under ladder. If it's a scrim, I think our default strategy as of late has been pretty shitty, but it's been the bomb goes on T roof, get outside a lobby. You don't want to be in there with the bomb alone, and we just have me and my other 3 teammates go outside, try to pick one and fall back. Pick one, fall back is a common term on my team for get a kill and then run away, or try to get a kill if you take too much damage and there's like 3 guys outside now, run away also, and then we try to reconvene upper. I do not recommend that strat. Has not been working. We're going to figure out what we're doing team-wise. But pug-wise, I think that's been working for me pretty well. Show us how to jump over the red rock. I don't know what that means. What's the best way to hold outside on nuke? Besides tips, what happened to Team EG and what are the players doing these days? I don't play outside. That's like my most dreaded place in the world to play. So I won't pretend that I know. Sorry. Are you able to jump from Fag Mountain over to Red Rock? Yes, but it's very difficult. Oh god. Oh. Big bomb site. I will give this one try because it's like impossible. It's just because I'm bored. Yeah, you can jump from like here-ish to there-ish, but you mainly want to double duck when you do it. Yeah. It's very difficult, possible, not realistic. Wouldn't suggest practicing it, excuse me. Not worth your time. In Squeaky Door, how would you hold it well without dying? Luckily I play Flora. An important thing to be able to recognize is to be able to understand when you can't hold Squeaky anymore. And you really can't hold Squeaky if you're here and they open Squeaky. It's very difficult to do. So what I do, if you've been watching the stream a lot, you'll be able to hear me mumble saying, if they open Squeaky, I'm playing retake. So if they open Squeaky before I'm like here, if I'm here-ish, I'm going in all the way. If they open Squeaky before I'm at this corner-ish, I'm playing retake. And what retake means is I'm gonna align the spam spot, see if I can do any damage, maybe get a kill, and then work with my teammates accordingly to retake the bomb site with flashes and whatnot. If it's a pistol round, never run in and stop here to try to get this window pick. Run in and try to get the window pick while you establish this position on pistol round if you're playing default spots. Reason being is what teams do if they rush you Squeaky on pistol is they have their best spawn, which is the hill spawn, run to pick window. He can't see you past here, obviously, so don't challenge him because there's going to be 4 more people bonding at a Squeaky. Give him a shot or two, try to gay him. You've seen that done by me in a million different clips, either getting the kill or at least shooting at the guy and then just realigning for this angle. It's the best angle to play on pistol if they're rushing upper. So what I'd suggest for pistol. For CT, there's a couple of different things you can do. I like to play bomb box a lot, and sometimes my hut guy does, it will hit the wall, hit the box, and spit out right in front of Squeaky. I promise you. It does a million, or it flashes them so successfully. I promise that will be successful for you. If you're playing bomb box and you're holding HUD or whatever, maybe your teammate's dead. Let's assume your teammate's dead. Try to smoke the front of HUD if you can. If you hear a Squeaky door open, throw flashes off of the wall behind you. They pop right in the bug in the middle of everywhere, and then Squeaky players die. Okay. On to the next one. Effective way to use flashbang when rushing B2 or yellow. I don't know what the fuck that means. I was saying this also too in stream earlier when we had a little bit of downtime. If you weren't there, I'll explain it again. I just learned this about doors. Squeaky door and blue door on Inferno in particular, I know this works, and the door on Tuscan. You can open the door but close it really quickly by double ducking into the door. Kind of cancels out the opening effect. I'm not sure how that's going to be helpful, but I'm sure I'll find out a way because I found out how to be gay about everything else in Counter-Strike. So I'll figure that out as noted. But how I was explaining it earlier, ooh, let me see first if this is done. I guess so. Pat, your thing isn't working. It just says it's installing software, but then it never does. I'd really like to draw on my screen. Now that sounds just like really good. By clicking, I accept that I agree, sure. install. Sure. Sorry, this would be really helpful to tip giving if this works. Scanning malware. Get the fuck out of here, bitch. Thanks. Don't care. Yep. Is this it? I don't want that. Thank you. Yo. Sketch it. Oh, you tell me how to use this before. Draw with shift and control and then left mouse click. Let me see if it works over here. Shift control. Man, so I'm sorry, I'm doing something. Draw a line. Control shift and left mouse. It's not doing anything. Alright, well. Yeah, I guess I'll give it another go. No, it's not doing anything. I don't know. For another day. Anyway, if say this wall right here to the left is of squeaky door is squeaky door. What you do when you hit it? I'll try it again in a second. What you do when you run into it is you basically double duck. Double ducking is what you do to consistently to crouch walk. It's just a series of hitting crouch 2 times and kind of holding your second crouch a little bit longer. Double ducking is also used to get on top of these ledges without jumping. Just double duck onto it really quickly. Pretending this is the door. You hit the door and you double duck and then you hold back. Cancels it out. Another really great thing to do with squeaky door. I explained this in the stream earlier. I'm going to mute my music really quickly to explain this as clearly as possible because this is really, really a great thing you can do. Say it's a 1 versus 1. You're a terrorist. You're on this map. And you've planted upper, wherever you've planted, say default spot, for the ease of the situation. The CT is coming to defuse it. Maybe you guys have a battle, and you realize that he's off of the bomb, and he knows that the squeaky door is open. Maybe he saw you come out of the squeaky door. Keep hitting on that and shit. Maybe he sees you come out of the squeaky door and challenge him for a second, and you run back in. What you can do with the squeaky door is if you run into the corner of the door on the wall, the door will do a full rotation, and it will only do the sound effect of squeaky door once. So what you can do is you can pretend to close the squeaky door on you on accident, but really you'll keep it open. See, that's a full rotation. So if you peek, he sees you come out squeaky, and then you go back in, and then you make that squeaky door sound, but you go in the corner, it will stay open. So he'll think it's closed. What you can do from there is maybe make some sound effects like you're running in the hut frantically. Maybe he'll stick it, and then you can re-peek from squeaky. He'll never know what's coming. So again, the door is open. You run out and challenge. You run back into squeaky, and you don't hit it with your butt like an asshole. I just got a big butt. I'm sorry. You run into the corner. It makes one squeaky sound, but it stays open. It doesn't want a complete cycle. You can do it from both sides of the door. Just run right into the corner. You don't have to do anything else. It's pretty effective. Really good for that situation. Let me see what passes real quick. Hit Control Shift Z to open the manual. Okay. Oops. Oh, perfect. How do you erase? That works great. I did. Woo. How do you erase? I don't want this on my screen. Oh, you guys can't see this at all. I'm looking at the. Yeah, I'm looking at it on the stream right now too. You can't see it. That's okay. We'll figure that out. That's a great idea, though. Okay. I'm gonna head over to Facebook now again. see what new questions we have. Great idea, Pat, though. I really like that. For everyone just joining this right now, please do not post questions on my status or any other status because I'm looking at new posts on my wall. It's a lot easier for me to keep track of right there. Okay, can you upload your user config and your NVIDIA managed 3D settings? I don't really have any NVIDIA settings. I'll show you what my user config is right now because you're probably interested in it. What it looks like when I execute it is this. I wrote it myself. It really took 2 seconds. Clears my console, and what it does for me is it doesn't just update my rates in the background. It shows me what my rates were, what the values were, and what they've been replaced to. So my update rate was 101, and it now is 101. So if my update rate, if I change it now to 20, and I execute my user config, it will tell me that before, my update rate was 20. That's why my game felt all off. But now it's been fixed. The CMD rate was
5
fine.
minutes remaining.
Has been fixed. My interp changed because my update rate was changed, but it's now fixed, and my rates are fine now. I'll pull up what my user config looks like over here instead of me uploading it, because it's really simple to do yourself. And I think scripting is a great way not only to keep your settings better in Counter-Strike, but it also helps you with programming stuff in the future. Scripting in 1.6 is how I started to learn programming in general. So the first command I have in my user config is graphite. A lot of people have been asking me about how I get my net graph to be just at the bottom here of my screen. And it's just netgraph 3, I believe. Yep, netgraph 3. But I use a command called graphite. The default value is 45. And my net graph would normally be up vertically a little bit. I know that the text at the bottom is a little distracting. I apologize. But on my resolution, if I use a value of -15, cuts off everything except for the FPS and MS, which is invisible right now because I'm on a LAN server. But play with graphite. It's different for different resolutions, but that's that. Clears the next command. It just clears everything in my console, so I have all this garbage in my console. Type in clear clears all of that out so that my user configs echoes can be more clear. And this is all it is. Typing echo before a series of text will make it say something. So typing echo butts, make my console say butts. So if I do echo, your update rate was, and then I have it show you update rate. It looks like this. Go update rate. Yeah. Update rate was, and then it types in CL update rate. And typing in any command without a value will show you what the value is set at. Gets echoed back. So just a small bit of scripting there. All my user config is really is just setting my update rate, CMD rate, enter, and rate, and my graphite. Nothing major, but interesting. Check out some of the comments. Send a hug to RCK and Romulo. Hugs for both of you. How do you do the rainbow crosshair? Again, I posted that on previous questions and statuses today and yesterday, so just check those out. What's the spam spot that you shoot to the right of the door going into lobby from T-spawn? No idea what you're talking about. Show us how to jump to the big rock. I gave at least 10 minutes, 15 to 20 more realistically, on how to jump to the big red rock before. So hopefully someone's recording this. You can just upload it at a later date. Oh god, we're going to Chateau. Cake, do you know something? That's not English, so I'm going to disregard it. It's all I speak, bruh. Is it possible to spam radio to bomb site or from bomb site? No, it's not. The only way that you can spam radio from upper at all is from above this line. So you can do it from rafter. Spam this way, right in the middle of radio. Conversely, you can also spam radio to top ladder. Pretty sure I know how to spam it to the right side of ladder, which is pretty helpful if you're trying to get a pick, like if you know that there's a player just standing here.
1 minute.
What you do is you sit on this table, and you look at this light, and you shoot just to the right of it. It goes just about to the top right of rafters. Just about. Not worth perfecting, in my opinion. Something.
20 minutes remaining.
Let's go through the other questions. Oh, the hut window flashes. Sorry, Pat, forgot about this. I didn't forget about you, baby. Pat wants to know how to throw the flashes out of the hut window to the top of hut, if I'm understanding him correctly. I know if you were watching the stream earlier, our in-game leader Sam was supposed to be throwing those flashes, but was missing terribly. They look like this. Flash top of hut. I guess all you do is you put your crosshair below where you think it should be. If you know anything about nades and Counter-Strike, they don't go in the middle of your crosshair, they usually go above them. So the goal of these flashes is to have them land obviously on top of hut, but they need to be hitting the corner of this part of the light and this part of the wall. So you want to ideally be putting your crosshairs towards the line in which they meet. And then just aim lower than where that is. I mean, Pat, is there anything I could be explaining better about it? I personally just don't find it difficult, but I know a lot of people have been having problems with that lately. So if you can think of anything, let me know while I read these other things. Tips for Tuscan. Sure, I can go to Tuscan next. Yeah, that's why I'm executing my user config. It has nothing to do with cheats. It's just ensuring that my rates are up to date. They're on the settings that you know I'll perform the best at. But I can show you how to spam the default bomb spot after I read Pat's message. Just the heat of the moment. Okay. Yeah, really all you need to do is just put your crosshair here. Just it's all about lining vertically where the two walls meet, or where these two surfaces meet, and just go lower. Not way lower. Just a little bit below it. I'll do it again.
20 minutes remaining.
We get to use CAKEbot for the next thing. I'm so excited. No problem. I'll show you one more time. Run up. Just lower and align vertically. Goes right on top of that. Okay. So we've got the bomb down. Default spot. Hello. Sorry. That's next one. And CT's diffusing it. I love going in the vents because it's really easy to spam. I'll show you exactly how I line that up and how you can, and why that's beneficial, and how you can do it really quickly. Make sure that knot's there again.
20 minutes.
Fuck. I think I kicked him on accident. I'm sorry, CAKEbot.
20 minutes remaining.
I don't know if I did that. Are you there? Hello. Okay. The reason the spam is great is because if you do the spam and you start hitting the diffuser and he jumps off, a lot of times, instead of trying to challenge you, maybe he'll smoke off the vent and he'll realign, and the way he realigns is from on top of the box. You can be on top of the box if my CAKEbot wasn't in the way, and diffuse, or not the taller box, but the smaller box, and be able to spam it, or excuse me, and be able to diffuse like a default plant. But this spam will typically still kind of hit them, and that's why I really like this spam. All you do is you go down, you pretty much smack your face on this vent. If the vent's gone, just kind of make it up. And the way I align the spam, as I remember, is this fourth little nut, this fourth little bolt, and it's the fourth from the left, or I guess it's from the right also. But it's just this line. Just remember, it's this gray line. You start going from the middle point. This first little dot, second dot, third dot, fourth dot. Goes right to the default plant. So it's really easy to get down these vents. You know, maybe throw a flash up at the top, land it on the ground, come up, see that he's on it, drop down, take 2 seconds to spam him. It's really great, again, because it aligns with a bunch of stuff and it will hit this guy if he's on top of the small box and he's trying to defuse it from there. Let's see what other questions we have on Facebook. I'm not up to date with all of them yet. Stop posting on the status. Post as new things. I'm just trying to finish these up on the status, but post questions as a new post. If you're a CT at the bomb site B and you know the T's rush B, I don't know where B is on nuke, man. Can you show us how to spam ladder room from lobby or spam ladder perfectly from truck or roof? Sure. All I do, if you've been watching the stream lately, I've not been hitting this as of late, is I stand just towards the corner. I know a lot of people that line it up perfectly with their crosshair and shit. I just run up to it. I don't know. It's not worth my time. Double zoom, and it's there-ish. I don't know. That's it. I feel bad that, excuse me, people feel that these spams are much more precise. It's really just more a habit of getting into it. It goes right over the pole. A lot of people go up the ladder and go to the right. Boom. That's all it is. I'll show you one more time. Towards the corner. Bottom right. Boom. Already ready to go. Right over the beam. Boom. Nothing fancy. Just practice. It's really just practice. Get in the habit. If you know what to practice, it helps too. Thanks for the hug. No problem. Let's move on to everyone that's been posting correctly. Oh god, so many posts. What's my favorite sports team? I don't really watch sports. For no reason other than I just don't. I watch a lot of UFC. Does that count? Swear to God, the Deegan 1.6 is super randy. I play on low 640 by 480. When you are using a Deeg, doesn't make sense. When you, I'm trying to make it more English. When you are on a Deeg round, oh, how do you get picks? The best tip I can give for the Deagle, I fucking hate the Deagle. But the best tip I can give for it is when you're like, I don't know, say you're running out here to get a kill, is don't hold forward and right at the same time and go diagonally to try to shoot. I'm just fucking making this up, sort of. This is just how I feel. I prefer to peek just by holding right, or just by holding forward. I feel that using two movement buttons at the same time makes my shots less accurate. That might just be me. But I would suggest don't peek running forward and right. Just shoot right. I don't know. I feel like I have a better idea at least of where my bullets might be going. Do you have your config posted anywhere? Yes. Go to YouTube, search CAKEbuilder config. Yep, I answered that just before Jimmy Bliss. My net graph height is -15. Again, that's resolution dependent. So for me on 640 by 480, -15 will give you that effect down there with just FPS and ping. And again, my ping is gone right now just because I'm on a LAN server. What exactly is count jumping? Justin Wong, so sorry that I'm behind on these comments. I see that was a half an hour ago. Hopefully you're here. I'll answer you right now. Let me bind my mouse wheel up to duck. What is a count jump? The reason it's called a count jump, first off, is because the person that figured this out, that this was an option, was, let me pause my music, that this was a possibility in Counter-Strike. His name is Count. So they called it the count jump. That's the only reason why. It's not because you have to count anything. That's the reason. Long jumping really quickly, I'm sure you know, is just getting a decent pre-strafe on the ground, jumping, strafing in midair, and going further than normally designed by Counter-Strike that you would go. Currently long jumping very poorly. I apologize. I'll switch to long jumps 2 for this explanation, then we can go back to nuke or to wherever. I'll be able to not be doing 228 jumps. But basically, I'll explain it as my server decides if it would like to live. Count jumping is when you do a double duck before your long jump. And you might be wondering why the fuck you'd want a double duck before your long jump. And the reason being is because when you double duck, you're going airborne. Your feet are leaving the ground. And what that allows you to do is that allows you to gain speed by air strafing while you're technically airborne before you jump for your actual jump. So while you're on the ground, I'm going to need to Control delete my Counter-Strike here. I apologize. Not sure why that happened. And then I'll continue my explanation. Ooh, I'm going to have to reset my screen region here also. Sorry. 1 second, I know you can't say anything. Bingo. Bango. Okay. Set KZ long jumps 2. This will be much easier for me to explain in one shot here. I'll explain count jumping. I'm explaining count jumping if you just got here. So a long jump, it's when you pre-strafe and you jump further than the game would like you to jump.
Impressive.
What a count jump is, or let me better explain long jumping really briefly. I know this is probably stupid to many of you, but to probably more of you, you have no idea what I'm talking about. So long jump, the fundamental aspect of long jumping is pre-strafing. Long story short, if I turn my speed plugin on, the max speed that you run with a knife when you're just holding forward is 250 units per second. Things in Counter-Strike, like objects, are measured in units, and units per second is the way that speed is measured as well. So 250 is the max speed, as you can see when I'm running forward or backward, left or right. I max out at 250 with a knife out. One of the most important things to your long jump is your pre-strafe. Pre-strafing is holding forward, but also holding a directional, like right. I prefer to pre-strafe to my right, and at a certain speed, moving your mouse to go faster than those 250 units per second. So if I do it on the ground, you can see that while I'm pre-strafing, I'll get to more than 250 units per second. The fastest I believe you can pre-strafe is 277 units per second. Doesn't seem like a lot, but 27 units per second extra in Counter-Strike is a lot of units extra. So again, running forward, you'll only get to 250 with a knife, while with the best pre-strafe possible, you can get up to 277. So before you even jump, you'll be getting more distance than if you were just running forward and then hitting jump if you have a decent pre-strafe. So if you're maxing out at 277 units per second with the best possible pre-strafe, that's pretty cool, but how can you get it even higher? You can get a lot faster speeds if you're airborne. So the premise of count jumping is to do, again, the double duck, which you really need to do when count jumping with your mouse wheel. So I have my M wheel bound to plus duck, so I can just scroll it. What that lets you do is when you double duck, your feet leave the ground and you're airborne. When you're airborne, you can get much faster speeds than the maximum 277 ground pre-strafe speed. So, in essence, the reason for your double ducking addition to your long jump, which altogether equals count jump, is to be airborne and to get more speed than possible through a ground pre-strafe before you jump. And a count jump, basically, here's a normal long jump pre-strafe. A count jump is basically you do your pre-strafe and then you double duck and then you jump immediately once your feet return from being airborne, and then you go into your long jump. Most important thing about your double duck when you're doing it, when you're doing your count jump, is to strafe harder when you're airborne. So like when I'm pre-strafe, I'm going like this, but then when I'm airborne, I'm going to turn a lot more. So that's what a count jump looks like. Sorry, I've been doing a lot of explaining and not a lot of jumping, so I'm a little cold. So that's 249, I think that's it. Turn my speed off, it's kind of getting in the way. I'm no, long jumping, count jumping expert. I'm pretty good, but that's the explanation. I can actually long jump a little bit better, to be honest.
Impressive.
So that's the basic explanation of count jumping. Again, count jump is a long jump where in your pre-strafe you're double ducking and you're gaining more speed prior to jumping and getting into your mid-air strafes than you would be able to achieve by being on the ground and just pre-strafing. Go ahead and turn my music back on. Fantastic. I'm going to continue reading the things that you're posting on Facebook, comments, questions, CS or not, answering it all. Thank you, Justin Wong. I appreciate that question. I like Casey a lot. Also, tomorrow I'm going to be recording for ESEA I don't know how to word it. In brief, it will be detailing the movement and go in Counter-Strike Global Offensive. So, should be pretty exciting. It'll come out either this weekend or latest Tuesday. I gotta refresh my page here, sorry. Thank you, Pat, for that status. Alright, at this point I'm going to stop reading comments on other statuses for the rest of the stream. You need to post your question or comment or whatever as a new thing. What are you drinking again? I was drinking at like 9 o'clock, so I'm kind of out of beer, but I was drinking Yingling Light Lager. It was delicious, but I'm out. And all I can think about is my pizza that's downstairs, but I don't want to be chomping on stream, but I might go get it anyway, because pizza's fucking delicious and no one can deny that. Who is better pony? Rainbow Dash or... I don't even want to try that. I don't know. What does that mean? Who do you think is better, swag or nothing? In my opinion, nothing is too good for swag. Nothing is definitely a veteran. He knows his shit. He's very fun to watch. He's very consistent. Swag is 15 years old, maybe? He's been doing pretty good at these lands. He won the last CSEA land. Swag ain't too bad. I'd go nothing. I think nothing's probably better, just with his experience, and he's got the edge. Swag has some serious raw talent now. I'm not sure how good these professional video games are going to treat his developing brain, though, to be honest. Why did I change to dynamic crosshair shits and giggles? Actually, Jimmy, I used to play with dynamic crosshair all the time. When I was little, when I first started playing Counter-Strike, I always used dynamic. And I think that, or excuse me, long story short, before I get into it, I was using non-dynamic for a time because I was told not to. People told me not to use it, but I played better with it on, so that's why I went back to it.
20 minutes remaining.
I think the reason I had it on initially is because I've always been interested in movement and making sure I have total control over my player and stuff like that to ensure that my shots are as accurate as possible. Yada 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 yada. And I think that dynamic goes hand in hand with movement. It, especially as a beginner, allows you to understand how accurate your bullets will be, because eventually, after playing for a while, you understand that, you know, this crosshair means that you're solid, you're good to go. This means that you're kind of moving a little bit. This means that you're airborne, or you're moving airborne. So it kind of helps you to put into perspective what your shots are going to be like, and what kind of, you know, if you're still kind of moving or something, you'll be able to kind of get a better idea of that kind of stuff. I've just always been better with it, and I think that I've just always been interested in movement, and they kind of go hand in hand. I have to write my book Bailey's again. Gosh, guys. Do you think nothing should leave EG? I'll say no comment. I don't wanna. I know too much. Pat made a status that says submit questions as a new post, not as a response to anything. And someone responded to that with a question, so I'm just gonna ignore it. Command crosshair, please. As I've said, I've posted the script, and other people have posted the script on previous statuses. Yahir says, "What's up, bro? I'm pretty tired of here. Just trying to help everyone out and give something back, because I haven't been doing so in video form as of late. What I'm going to do right now is I have 2 small pieces of pizza on my kitchen counter, and this is just the most relaxing song to take a quick break to not address CAKEbuilder's nipples, who's just added me on Steam Friends, and to go get those slices of pizza. So I'm going to add new text. Getting pizza. 30 seconds. This song is awesome. Okay. I'll be right back. I don't really care if you hear me chewing when I come back, because I really want that pizza. I've been talking for a while. I can't wait. Oh,
The esea-invite moved to Sam's secret channel.
oh my god.
The esea-invite moved to Sam's secret channel.
Oh, these just look so delicious. I'm so excited. They're so small. I can't wait to eat them though. I'll read those later. CAKEbuilder's nipples. There better be a cool picture with this. If you didn't change your picture. There better be girl boobies. You're not. You suck. Okay. Go ahead and check Facebook for questions. Is there a spam from upper to lower default? An effective one? I'm gonna say no. Because default upper, ah shit. Suck my asshole and call me Susan. I don't know why I said that. What the fuck? Oh, my name is Ass Butts I Like Duty. I'll do it. Reason being is because default upper is so defined. This is default upper. It's in a corner. It's very easily alignable. It's always planted the same way. Default lower is much more vague. It could be here if you're afraid of the vents. You know, just kind of want to eliminate one of the vents. It could be here if you want to be, if you want it to be top ramp. If you're me and you like to go in that vent, you might want to plant it more over here so it's more visible on the vent. I'll say no. What you can do sometimes is if you play ramp or something, or if maybe you were rafter and they've planted lower, you come down through CTJ hall and you get to here, and you think they're planting, you can spam this middle divider, which is very sparingly successful, or very rarely successful rather, but is doable. I really wouldn't recommend trying to spam from anywhere to lower to try to get a planter or a diffuser. It's really not that successful, and isn't worth your time. That's just me. Maybe you'll find some fucking awesome spam. What do I know? Let's see what else we got. Where are you answering all these questions? I'm streaming, bro. What the fuck? Oh. You just ask them on Facebook. You just post a thing. Just post on my wall. I have a problem with jumping right out from Yellow's window with bouncing repeatedly. It comes handy sometimes. Oh. Okay, you mean hut. That shit sucks. Here's my tip to you. My tip to you is you're already doing it wrong. The reason I know that is because however you're trying to play, whatever your strategy is get out of hut window really quickly. And that also, at least to me, again, these are all just my opinion. You can prove me wrong and make it an awesome strategy. But in my opinion, getting out of hut window should not be, quickly, should not be a priority to you. You should be able to clear out, you know, opposite, know that, you know, your mini's covered or something, and just creep out. Something to note about that, though, not speed related, sorry, but a good tip is, I just decided to do it and not explain it. Sorry, that didn't make any sense. Is when you're about to fall out of the window onto the floor, even though it's kind of a taller drop, you can do it without making a sound. I'll mute my music really quickly. If you basically you want to just hold walk, or you know, crawl out of the window. Once you're airborne, start holding walk. Don't hold crouch. You can hold a directional if you want, but I'm gonna just continue to crawl out of this window. Once I'm airborne, I'm gonna immediately start holding my walk button, and then when you land, it won't make a sound. See? So that's pretty useful because if squeaky door's closed, you can sometimes just sneak right out a hut window and they'll have no idea. You'll be able to get a little half a second advantage on the guy top rafter, or if he's not there, maybe there's a guy top hut and he's watching the front of hut. Kill him really easily. As far as the speed goes out of that window, don't operate that way. in my opinion. It's not worth trying to get the speed. Technically, how you're supposed to do it is pre-strafe up to it and then jump at the right time. I don't know. Too much work. It's not worth it. It's not as much of an advantage as you would think there is at that window. Just saying. I'm checking out more questions on my other monitor. Sorry, that's what's happening when this menu's up on my other monitor. It allows me to tab out. I'm on DE Lite for the first time. Best explanation, please. The fuck does that mean? Make your question more not full of suck. Sir Seth. Sorry. Anthony wants to know what type of pizza. I don't know. Some shit in my freezer. And I cooked it. And it's so good. It's just plain. I don't know, brands. What kind of underwear boxers do I wear? Unlisted. I wear boxers. I can go to your home to eat pizza? Oh, fuck you, you hear? It's mine. I'm starving. There's not enough. No, that was basically the question. Yeah, it can be handy, Abdo, but oh. I think that's pretty good for this stream. Let's check how long I've had that video up for. The YouTube video. I love how comments are being put on your thing that says post new status or new wall posts. That's been up for over an hour. Okay, fantastic. I'll take any last minute questions for like the next 5 minutes. Oh, okay. Is it like a default map? I don't know, it's got long cat, mid, and B. You know, it's like everything else, kind of. Only, the window rooms, the question was about DE Lite, and just generally how it works. Something really important to consider is, you can rotate really quickly from catwalk to B, or just from A to B in general, because the window room is connected basically from catwalk, and goes almost directly into B, goes right out on the banana. So rotations for T's can be very quick, and it makes it hard as CTs to defend, because you're kind of running all over the place with fakes and stuff. And the T's also have a lot of advantage to throw flashes and smokes to cut off common CT positions, like really early on. Really, really early on. Whoop, that's not my desktop. That's game. Do a pump shot guide. Okay, man. That thing's my secret. What age did I lose my virginity? Was it to a man or a woman? I was 2. I was a little baby. And it was by both a man and a woman. It's horrible. I bet you can't say my name. If you can, you got some skills. Reading comprehension is not my strong point. I'm better at math. But it is Andrew. I'm really thinking about it. PP. It's definitely Andrew PP. I can't say it. I don't know how to do it. Victor Lopez de Fajita. The crosshair config is on other statuses of mine or something. Give me your vent info. I will fit right in. I don't use vent. Here's Mumble. What else we got? Nope, can't have any of my pizza. Why did I do so shitty in this pug? I don't know, I was probably playing. You know what I got into? This game from my phone. Draw something. Holy shit. So addicting. I've never played like a social media game before, like Words with Friends, and I'm doing all that shit. I gotta draw something. So fun. It's ruining my ESEA stats. I go on my phone, I'm playing like 10 people and draw something. Drawing shit on my phone. This one girl tried to draw Tupac. She drew like a stick figure, and I couldn't get Tupac for like the longest time. I had to ask all my friends. So then my word to draw for her was pencil, and I drew like a fucking soccer ball. I just fucked with her brain. I hope she thought about that for an hour and didn't get it and then lost. It was fucking annoying. It was really mean of me to do, but I did it. Fuck that. My professor just emailed me. I'm not reading it. I'm busy. Busy doing more important things. See what else we got here for the last couple minutes. So in a pug, he suggests playing cat for fast transition between sites. Again, this guy's talking about DE Light. This coming from some nerd who wants to clutch the match while nerds on his team. Excuse me. I don't know what that means. As a T, playing cat's pretty good. As a T on DE Light, I usually like to pick long because you can see more things and you can kind of explore more area. Whereas cat, you're kind of confined to just cat. Long is it leads directly. Not that cat doesn't, but long is more open to. You can see the bomb site more quickly. You can see AA a lot more quickly. You can get a CT spawn really quickly. Cat does, you know, pretty much the same thing, but you're confined to just like the cat tunnel. So as a T, I prefer to pick long. It's a pretty small map. You can get to be really quickly. As a CT, the rotation isn't as easy as I said. Because the rotation through window room is mainly for the T's. Unless they're all B and you've played A, and then you can push up to cat and then use that window room to rotate over. What's my favorite kind of cake? Dumb question. All cake. The fuck? Is that my favorite? Jimmy knows what's good. Mumble over vent all day, every day. That's all I do is use mumble. Is my moment of fame. Hi, Mom. If your mom's watching the stream, kick her in the mouth. It's not for her. She's got work tomorrow. Fuck. Okay. I think I've answered like a great deal of questions, and I've gone over at least Dust 2, Inferno, and Nuke. Like, pretty thoroughly, at least things that I would want to give tips on in the future.
It's time to chew.
I'm gonna pick Militia, because I'm not gonna be playing Militia in a minute. If anyone was recording this, if you could send me a message on YouTube, with your contact information or whatever, that'd be fantastic. Probably be nice for me to upload what I've went over to YouTube or somewhere else, since this was kind of spur of the moment, as like a makeup gift for not doing tips and probably stopping tips, more than likely. I'm just gonna go ahead and say I'm done with tips, doing the cake tips, but it's too time consuming for me to edit and to think of something worth showing you every week. And very sadly, 1.6 will probably not be going on forever. And because the game isn't updating, there will only be so many tips I can tell you. While you can keep finding out new stuff, while I still have a fucking database full of weird shit that I know.
Minutes remaining.
Some of that stuff I want, because I've fucking figured all that shit out. And, you know, it should be of value to me before I just give it away. But I've given you a great deal of all my, you know, random bags of tricks and goodies. Good night, Pat. I saw that. So I think that I've been more than fair in that regard. think that's all I got. I think I'm gonna watch a movie, get to bed, and wake up. What do I gotta do tomorrow? I gotta go to the DMV tomorrow. Probably gonna wake up first, have some coffee, go in my basement, make some weird bassy sounds, and go to the DMV. I hate myself there.
9,
Oh my god, we gotta go! This is dictating the fate of the world!
6,
Oh,
5, 4,
I'm sorry.
3,
Good night.
2,
Have a good day
1.
tomorrow.